We have a lot of people who come from outside our borders and they target our stores to commit thefts on a regular basis.
Coon Rapids is home to one of the biggest retail areas in Anoka County. And while Riverdale Village is rolling out the welcome mat to shoppers this holiday season, mall management is teaming up with police to crack down on thieves.
So far they've been very, very effective, and our team is really happy with them.
Just before Black Friday, Riverdale Village installed automatic license plate reader cameras at all 6 of its entrances.
When a vehicle travels past one of those cameras and that vehicle is wanted by law enforcement, for instance, it's a stolen vehicle or there's a wanted person in the vehicle, then our retail team gets notified of that.
Considering 70% of thefts happen with a stolen vehicle, it's one of the great ways to stop these before it even happens.
Ryan Burke, senior property manager at Riverdale Village, says the cameras have already helped track down thieves and prevented thefts.
If the customers are safe, the store employees are safe, more people are going to come to shop, profits are better, less things are getting stolen. It's a benefit for everybody.
Officers Steve Minion and Daniel Forsman, who work out of the police substation at Riverdale, walked the retail beat 7 days a week, working closely with store managers and employees. Through the end of the year, additional police patrols will be deployed on weekends.
We're just trying to do what we can to crack down here in our community and send a message that we won't tolerate this behavior.
We planted them in 1986, and believe it or not, I was taller than that tree when we started.
The giant pine tree in front of Kathy and David Carlin's yard is being donated today for the city's 2nd annual Community Tree Lighting Festival.
I'm happy that we can do that, and I've never been to a tree lighting thing before, so I'm really looking forward to it.
At 10 a.m., the tree contractor arrived on site. A team from the Coon Rapids Public Works Department came to provide assistance. The entire operation was under the supervision of City Forester Tom Shabilla.
This year's tree is a Norway spruce tree. It's got a really nice form and a pretty big size, so that's our challenge today, is to get it onto our trailer safely and get it down the street and to its home for this winter.
It's a delicate operation to get the tree safely onto the trailer. Many neighbors came out to watch, including Coon Rapids Community Strength Foundation member Tim Howe, who found the tree donors.
My wife, Susan, and I decided to go for a walk and just knock on some doors. And by chance, the couple that lived where the tree was thought it was a great idea.
After getting the tree tied down on the trailer, it's finally on the move, with a police escort leading the way to Boulevard Plaza. It's the same site as last year's first ever Community Tree Lighting Festival, next to the Coon Rapids Ice Center.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh.
Last year's event drew a couple hundred people, where there were bonfires to warm up to, holiday music, and Santa for the kids. Scott Latta says he's super excited for the 2nd annual tree lighting ceremony.
Make sure that you're here, at least by 5 o'clock, because the tree lighting is going to happen at 5:30.
The 2nd annual Coon Rapids Community Tree Lighting Festival will be on Saturday, December 3rd from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Take pictures with Santa and bring a non-perishable food donation for the Coon Rapids High School food shelf. The big countdown happens at 5:30 with fireworks.
Back in 2017, the Minnesota State Legislature updated rules related to development in the Mississippi River Corridor critical area, which runs through the Twin Cities. Recently, local cities, including Coon Rapids, were required to adopt new standards.
Minnesota is the headwaters of the Mississippi. They feel it's very important for us to preserve the quality of this water, and they do that through controlling the construction that goes along and any work that goes along the shorelines, the bluff lines along the Mississippi River.
The Mississippi River Corridor Critical Area, which was designated as such back in 1976, stretches for 72 miles from the cities of Ramsey and Dayton down to Hastings and Ravenna Township. It includes 54,000 acres of land along both sides of the river.
Most of these rules relate to those property owners that live along the river or own property along the river. Most of it is private residential homes. There are some public institutions, for example, Anoka Ramsey Community College is along the river. They're also subject to these rules.
The three big changes include new design standards for acceptable river access, including paths, stairways, water-oriented structures, patios, and decks. Specific definitions have been developed for things like bluff line and bluff impact zone. And finally, permits are now required for certain land alterations and vegetation removal.
Previously, we didn't really have a permitting requirement if someone was going to do some fairly significant work along the river, whether that's vegetation removal, putting in riprap, a retaining wall. We didn't really have a process for doing that. So this will now require a permit if you're going to be doing any of that kind of work.
The DNR created a model ordinance to help cities update their own ordinances to align with the new regulations.
Anything that was legally established prior to the updated ordinance will be considered a legal nonconformity if it doesn't meet the new standards. And so there are protections under state law for legal nonconformities.
To comply with DNR requirements, the Coon Rapids City Council adopted an updated zoning ordinance for the critical area in the fall of 2022.
So the City Council, we need to adopt them and make them part of the city ordinances because we'll be responsible for the permitting and for the enforcement.
A lot of the changes, I think, are really related to permitting, clarification about rules. Things like structure setbacks are not changing. So I think it's important for people to understand that this is really updating and modernizing our ordinance. But I don't know that there's drastic changes that we're making to it.
In the end, everyone along the 72-mile corridor hopes the changes will help protect a gem so it's around for generations to come. If you'd like to learn more about the changes or find information on development standards and permitting requirements, just log on to the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov/MRCCA. The Public Works Building is getting some improvements. This week, the City Council awarded contracts for the remodeling project. Plans include upgrades to the front office area, lunchroom, computer area, restrooms, and locker rooms. Changes are being proposed to the city's animal control ordinances. Currently, you need a multiple pet permit if you have 3 or more pets. However, under a new ordinance being considered, a multiple pet permit would only be required with 4 or more pets. Also, new ordinances would eliminate the need for owners to license dogs and register cats. The holiday shopping season will soon be kicking into high gear. The City Council has proclaimed November 26th as Small Business Saturday. They are encouraging residents to support local businesses this holiday season and throughout the year.
It's just really helped me find that passion in creating stuff and designing.
Senior Aaron Casey spoke before a group of local industry leaders about his experience in the engineering program at Coon Rapids High School. It's one of 3 programs which uses curriculum written by Project Lead the Way.
For this class, you're doing a lot of the research on your own.
The nonprofit organization develops STEM curriculum in science, technology, engineering, and math for schools across the nation.
Is there an activity or a specific project you worked on that really stands out?
Project Lead the Way President and CEO David Demet was joined by others to see the curriculum in action.
The adrenaline wouldn't be as high, but the blood cortisol would still have a significant enough difference.
In the Biomedical Innovations class, students use what they've learned about design and statistics.
So they're applying that knowledge to designing their own research question and designing a study to test something about human physiology or human psychology.
In the computer-integrated manufacturing classroom, students design their projects in 3D modeling and use a flowchart.
What you're looking at here is an AGV, or an automated guided vehicle. Our whole purpose is to be able to follow a line on the ground.
It's possible to live with it, but it's really rare.
In the medical interventions class, students work as genetic counselors while they research a genetic disorder.
We really do try to have all the careers, because kids are like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse. And so we're trying to show them, this is an example of a job where you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse.
Project Lead the Way, showcasing student learning today as they prepare for the STEM careers of the future.
It's such a great opportunity for us to share what we're doing and kind of show off our students that we're so proud of.
If you'd like to learn more, the Coon Rapids High School Center for Biomedical Sciences and Engineering program will host an information night on Tuesday, December 6th at 6:30 p.m. in the school auditorium.
We are here today, 10 years later, to thank our supporters and honor our staff and our participants.
A special celebration inside the Anoka County Courthouse this month as Anoka County Veterans Court marked a decade of accountability and compassion.
My name is Jenny Walker Jasper. I've been at the Veterans Treatment Court from the beginning. Clearly the most important thing I've ever done in my 21 years on the bench.
Sentence of law judgment of this court, they will stay adjudication of guilt, place you on supervised probation for a period of up to 5 years. On the following
CTN did a profile on the Veterans Court back in 2017 when the court was celebrating 5 years in operation. Just like civilian court, there's a judge, prosecutors, and defense attorneys, but punishment is replaced with rehabilitation.
These are people that we've asked to go to war for us, and they come back, they have issues, and we're trying to help them. A lot of them are PTSD issues, a lot of them are alcoholism issues, all that are related to combat or service.
Since November 2012, 122 veterans have gone through the court. 84 have graduated, which is a 69% graduation rate. The recidivism rate is just 12% and is defined as a conviction of a non-traffic misdemeanor or higher offense within 3 years of graduation.
I told you my story because I want you to understand that this court is where hope comes alive and new opportunities and possibilities are created for veterans like myself.
Paul Evangelist, who served in Vietnam, is the Peer Mentor Program Coordinator. For the past 8 years, he's matched mentors with veterans.
What I do is I recruit veterans that might be interested in being a mentor. I interview with them to determine if they and I think that they are appropriate.
There are currently 14 volunteer mentors who are veterans themselves with an honorable discharge. Once again, giving back to their country by helping other veterans struggling to find their own footing.
I think a lot of them, they see it as a chance not only to deal with the issue that brought them to court, but also giving them the help for lifelong issues that they've been having and hopefully want to end.